This might be the most critical video we have ever made because it gives you an insight into how the ownership of the planet really works and who might be the one person who is pulling the strings of absolutely everything in our entire lives. Nonetheless, the world needs to know the truth, right? There's a company out there that's controlling everything we do, and we are giving them the power. You might not have heard of this company, but in the space of 33 years, it has taken total control of the world. It holds more assets than the GDP of every single country in the world except for the United States and China. It is the major investor in the burning of fossil fuels, destroying our environment. What's more, the worst part of it is we keep giving them this power over us, and even worse, world leaders don't want you to know about this. That's why in this video, I'm going to tell you how this company has managed to gain so much power over the entire world, and how this is all our fault. There's so much to talk about in this video, so just hit the like button already and subscribe if you are yet to. Once again, welcome to your favorite channel full of actualities called ICE, where you get to learn all the ins and outs of investing, e-commerce, and entrepreneurship. Straight into today's video. The name of this company is BlackRock. They are the world's largest shadow bank because of their staggering size, power, and the fact that they completely operate out of sight of the public. Okay, here's a simple question. What is the main thing that drives prices in the financial market and the economy? Don't even bring up that demand and supply facade that we're forced to believe, because that's far from the truth. The real reason behind price fluctuations of different commodities in the market is due to the hidden engineering process by companies like BlackRock. It's all a show, and we are the puppets. In 2010, BlackRock was named the world's most influential financial institution. In 2014, they had $4 trillion in asset management, making them the world's biggest asset managers. For comparison, the famous Industrial and Commercial Bank of China had only $3 trillion at that time. BlackRock is now controlling over $9.5 trillion in assets. They own a piece of everything: Apple, Microsoft, Facebook, and are the top shareholders in major banks around the world, like the Deutsche Bank, having 4.81% of the bank's shares. So if you own a bank account or have any form of dealings with any financial institution, your money definitely finds its way to BlackRock in one way or another. For instance, if you've ever had a white-collar job and you put a part of your salary in pension funds for your retirement, your pension fund takes that money to invest in other sectors to yield profit. Well, don't think too much about it. Your money is being invested in BlackRock. What about insurance? Where do you think insurance companies invest their money? Of course, you guessed it right, BlackRock. There's no doubt that these guys are everywhere, and it's only safe to say that they rule the world. With so many partnerships in energy, oil and gas, food, transportation, and of course, finance, there are just too many questions that cannot be answered about this company. Control from both sides. BlackRock has managed to convince the world that they're both saving it while destroying it at the same time. For example, let's look at Coca-Cola and Pepsi. These are two of the world's biggest soft drink companies. Both companies have been in supremacy battle over who's better for a long time. In a standard world of business where things are fair, it would be wrong for investors to be the major stakeholders at both competitive companies, but not for BlackRock. These guys don't play by the rules. Yep, and as if it's nobody's business, BlackRock is a major shareholder at both Coca-Cola and Pepsi with zero conflict of interest. The reason there is no conflict of interest is that BlackRock operates on what is known as circular ownership. In circular ownership, BlackRock owns a substantial amount of shares in other companies, and these other companies own shares with BlackRock. For example, BlackRock is the major shareholder in the American Vanguard Group by holding 13.45%. Vanguard Group is also a major shareholder in BlackRock by holding 8%. This makes it hard and confusing to tell who owns what with these companies. This is how BlackRock has managed to control many brands without any conflict of interest. News diversity. Let's talk about the news. No matter the news outlet you follow, BlackRock owns a portion of that news outlet. CNN, the New York Times, Fox News, NBC, and so many more are partially owned by BlackRock. BlackRock also owns shares in major social networks like Facebook Group, Twitter, and Snapchat. In fact, they control so much of our media that BlackRock is said to be a top owner in Disney, Comcast, Time Warner, and News Corp. These are 4 of the 6 biggest companies that control more than 90% of the United States media landscape. They can pass any message to the world any day at any time. Yep, you got that right. Anytime they wish. Now, this is how they own you directly. BlackRock has a network software of 5,000 computers called Aladdin. Aladdin allows them to analyze millions of trades of their clients' portfolios 24/7, allowing them to make the best trading decisions. Aladdin is so widespread that it's become the central nervous system of every financial institution under BlackRock. For these institutions to tap into the Aladdin software, they need to grant BlackRock complete access to the data of their clients, which in this case is you and I. BlackRock performs analysis on this data, thereby engineering prices of commodities in the economy. And we have to accept these prices because we have no choice. The mastermind. But who's actually the person behind this mysterious company? Who's in control and has his hands wrapped around so many different sectors at the same time? I'll tell you, his name is Larry Fink. Given that this company controls the media we see every day, it's no surprise that Larry has remained hidden from the eyes of the public. Ideally, he can be described as the man who always wanted more than he had. Besides, he understands business like no one else, but it took him a whopping $100 million loss before getting to the levels he is today. Rise to victory. After graduating from the University of California with a degree in political science and entering Wall Street at just 23 years old, Larry seized the opportunity to learn the ins and outs of the finance market. In less than a decade, he had become a legend at Wall Street by kickstarting the securitization of debts. Securitization is simply the conversion of an asset, especially a loan, into marketable securities, typically to raise cash by selling them to other investors. So for Larry, he took advantage of this financial system where all loans ranging from mortgage loans to credit card loans were chopped down and sold to other investors. This caused huge deregulation of funds in the financial industry and was the main reason for the 2008 meltdown in the financial market. Larry created a back system that led to the meltdown, but somehow the US Treasury still hired him to clean it up. After making a name for himself, he was struck by a huge loss while trading the financial market. In 1988, he co-founded the Blackstone Group with billionaire Steve Schwarzman. They started with a $5 million loan and by 1993 had over $20 billion worth of assets under management. The two parted ways and Larry went on to build BlackRock. In 1999, the company went public for $375 million. In 2004, it merged with Merrill Lynch, a wealth management division of Bank of America, which added $500 billion to BlackRock. From there, the company has surged to the heights that it's at right now. Final thoughts. To be honest, it's really hard to say we can stop BlackRock. For example, the government of Singapore is the largest investor in BlackRock with Temasek Holdings. This makes all Singaporeans linked to BlackRock in one way or another. The only way you can control how much they take from you is to control where your money goes, or preferably switch to banking with online platforms. In my opinion, it's only a matter of time before they get their hands on that too. What are your thoughts about BlackRock? In what ways do you think their control over us could be reduced going forward? We'd really like to get your opinions in the comments below. Thanks once again for watching and staying with us until the end. If you found this video interesting, feel free to give us a big thumbs up, share, and subscribe to this channel for more interesting content. See you in the next one. Bye for now.